Good evening, Internet. Welcome back to another night of talking about something for probably far too long. Tonight it's going to be talking about the upcoming year and my plans for the year. So first off, I just wanted to let everybody know that I have been working on getting out of the United States for the past probably 8 months or so. I just had a major setback, so that's going to put me back a few months probably. But hopefully sometime in early 2026, my plan is to expatriate from the United States. That shouldn't affect the channel, or at least I don't know how much it's going to affect the channel. There may be breaks. I might need to take some time to get set up in my new place. I'll need to find an apartment. I'll need to find a new PC probably. I'll need to get some work done like between moving. But once it's done, it shouldn't mean anything major for the channel. Aside from that, let's get into some games. Where is my... There we go. So you can see here I have this collection on my PC of games to record. It currently has 145 games. So we shouldn't be in need of anything for a little while. Before I do anything else, I had a request that I need to do. Where is it? Outer Wilds. I played Outer Wilds back in 2020, maybe 2021. I don't remember a lot of it. I do remember some of it. I had a request to play through Outer Wilds and the DLC. I've never played through the DLC before, so the DLC will be fresh. But that would probably be about a 2-week endeavor. So I've been putting it off. I was going to do it over my New Year's break, and then the Enigma trilogy happened. So I didn't have time to get to it yet. But that's my plan. My first game of the new year is going to be Outer Wilds. After Party and where is it? LMN. I pass it. There it is. I have Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals, and After Party, which are all by the same team, is my understanding. I'd like to play through those. They're a little bit like aimed at more young adults, 20-somethings than my usual game choices are. But I remember enjoying Oxenfree when I played it. So I'm hoping that that group of games will be good for the channel. Alyssa is another survival horror game. I've been playing a lot of those. I think that this one is based on Alice in Wonderland, but I'm not sure. I've seen a little bit. I saw Sinnoh Beats play a little bit of it for like a streamathon or something way back in the day. Don't remember much of it. Yeah. The Amnesia games. I am interested in replaying Amnesia: The Dark Descent and maybe Amnesia Rebirth. If that's something that you'd like to see, please let me know. I am planning on going through Amnesia: The Bunker at some point. I don't know if I want to do all three at the same time, or if I want to do Amnesia: The Dark Descent and Amnesia Rebirth first, and then leave some time and then do Amnesia: The Bunker. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I would also like to play Soma at some point. It's been a while since I've played Soma. So if that's something that you're interested in seeing before the sequel, please let me know. I just bought this one on the Steam winter sale, Anomalous Coffee Machine. I saw that Manly Badass Hero had played it. I think that it's a visual novel about an anomalous coffee machine. That's all that I really know about it. I'm interested in playing it, seeing what all the hype is about. Yeah, that's basically what I know about it. Arkham Horror Mother's Embrace. I got this one in a bundle a long time ago. I've never played it. I don't know what it's about, but it's a Lovecraft game. You can't go wrong with Lovecraft games. At Dead of Night, I saw John Wolfe play this. I saw Sinnoh Beats play it. I think I saw Mr. Craven play it, but I could be wrong about that. At Dead of Night, developers asked not to post the ending of the game on YouTube because they believe that it will negatively affect their sales. I don't want to play it if I can't finish it, is kind of the thing. So I've been kind of like sitting on that one for a while. I'm not sure how to address that. I'm not sure if I'm going to get up to a certain point and stop. I'm not sure if I want to like stream it and then get to a certain point and stop. I don't know how to really deal with it if it's not going to be finished. Addie's Wake is another one that I got in a bundle a long time ago. I've just kind of been sitting on it. Atama. Atama is a game that is based off of the Siren series. It is not connected to Siren, but it kind of takes the sight jacking and the Japanese horror aspect of it. I've never seen anybody play it. I don't know any of the twists or anything. All I know is that it's like Siren, but on PC. And so if that's something that you guys are interested in, please let me know. I bought these when these were the only two Bad Dream games. Bad Dream Coma and Bad Dream Fever. I know that they have more now. I'm not sure how many they have. So those are like, my understanding is they're short, hand-drawn, like horror games about a dreamscape. And so there might be some moon logic, there might be some puzzles. I'm not really sure about the actual content of the game. The Blackwell series. I watched Kimmy Kim's play these back when she was still streaming. Kimmy Kim's is John Wolfe's wife. I watched her back when she was still streaming. She played through all of the Blackwell games. She loved these games. They're point and click games, which would be good for like people who enjoyed The Corruption Within and Kathy Rain. However, they can be a little bit obtuse, and I think that some of them have soft locks in them. So it's a big undertaking, but I would like to go through those at some point. Maybe those would be like a good stream game if you guys were interested in streaming. If you guys would like the videos, I could go through and do the videos. I'm just worried about them because I'm worried about like getting stuck on something and not knowing about it and having to consult a guide. And I just really want to go through like the games organically. I don't want to keep like consulting guides and being like, well, is this a soft lock? Is this something that I can navigate around? Is there a hint that I can get without spoiling myself? I always want to try to get through the games naturally. Blessed Burden. I just played through the demo for this on one of the Haunted PS1 demo discs. I enjoyed the aesthetic of it. I liked the parkour aspect of it. And when the full game released, I bought it. So I've got that. Blood is, to my understanding, a boomer shooter. I know that some of you guys liked the Forgive Me Father game. I would like to go through and do a few more boomer shooters. Maybe not like devote the channel to boomer shooters, but every so often just throwing one in there. So Blood and Dusk might be good for like that, scratching that itch. Blood Typers, my understanding is that it's Left 4 Dead, but you type instead of shooting. I grabbed it while it was like very cheap. I think that I bought it before it was finished, but I do know that they have added, like, they've completed the campaign at this point. So that's a game that I would like to go through if you guys would like to see. Bloody Hallowfest. I don't remember this one. Cubite Games. This is from Deadly Night Devs. Got it. So this is from Deadly Night Devs. Never seen it. Don't know what it's about. Just be like a nice little surprise. Boneworks. This is a virtual reality game. I have a virtual reality headset. One of the controllers is a little bit scuffed. I would like to play through a VR game for the channel, see how it does. Let me know if that's something that you're interested in. Burnhouse Lane. I played through, when I first started the channel, I played through the Devil Came Through Here trilogy, or as some people know it, the Cat Lady trilogy. Downfall, the Cat Lady, and Lorelei. These are very adult games. They are very kind of gory games. There's a little bit of nudity in them. They're very, very like aimed at an older, more mature audience with like very gripping ambiance, very gripping stories, and very like intense moral baggage, I would guess. I guess I would say. Burnhouse Lane is the same developer. I want to go through it. I want to see what they're doing now. I'm not sure if like my audience still likes that stuff or not. So let me know what you think. Call of Cthulhu: The Dark Corners of the Earth. This is kind of the original Call of Cthulhu game. I know that there's a soft lock in this one as well. It's funny that older games tend to have soft locks. I always love playing Cthulhu type games. I always like playing cosmic horror type games. This one is a little bit older, so I've been kind of iffy about it. I don't know if anybody's going to be like in for it, but if anybody is interested in seeing that, again, just let me know. Carrion. I played through this one back in 2020 or 2021 sometime. I enjoyed it. It's like a reverse horror game. It's like a Metroidvania kind of in reverse. It's difficult towards the end. It gets like very like twitchy. It's very frantic, but it's a lot of fun. So if that's something that you guys would like to see, let me know. Clock Tower Rewind. I've never played a Clock Tower game. So I'm interested in seeing what the fuss is about. I like that Clock Tower Rewind has brought it to the PC, so I can just play it natively in the PC. I really appreciate when I don't have to set up emulators or anything like that. I think that this is the only one that's on PC. I could be wrong about that. But let me know if you guys are interested in Clock Tower Rewind. Conarium. Conarium is another cosmic horror game. It's inspired by Lovecraft. I started it a few years ago, but I found the puzzles to be very obtuse. I would be like looking over an area for a button, and I just didn't click on the right pixel or something. I don't know if they've updated or anything like that. I remember the writing being very good, but I remember the puzzles being kind of obtuse. So I'm a little bit iffy on that one. Let me know if you're interested in it. Confabulation. I just picked this one up on the winter sale. This developer is somebody that's been this developer is someone who's been recommended to me. So I went through, I looked at the dates of their games and just picked the first one. My understanding is that they do very like traditional short horror games where you're in a house with Unity, the Unity engine, and there's like short puzzles and a lot of atmosphere, very focused on atmosphere. I haven't seen any of their games. I don't know anything about them, but I would like to support them if they're like doing my genre. Contradiction. This one is a little bit out of left field. So back when I was streaming on Twitch, we played through a bunch of FMV games. We played through the Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, Short Nights with Poe and Monroe, and the Shapeshifting Detective. And so I had put Contradiction and this other one, The Dark Side of the Moon, on my games to stream folder. And then that eventually became my games to record folder when I moved over to YouTube. So if you are interested in these FMV games, I've got Contradiction, The Dark Side of the Moon, and I can always replay. I probably wouldn't want to replay The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, but I would probably replay Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe and The Shapeshifting Detective. Cooking Companions. This is a horror visual novel that was made during the pandemic. It's about cannibalism, from my understanding. I've got Cooking Companions, and I've got the sequel, Dreadweight. So I've never played these. I don't know what the twists are. I don't know what the relationships are. I don't know what the characters are. I just know that it's supposed to be like really gripping. So if you're a visual novel, horror visual novel type of person, let me know. The Creepy Syndrome. This is an anthology, I think. I don't remember how I found this one. I think that somebody recommended Boomfire Games to me. Or maybe not. I don't remember. But this is an anthology. It's got short vignettes in the different styles. I think that it's supposed to all be retro inspired, so it would be like pre PS1. So if you're of the haunted PS1 generation, if you guys are here from that, that would be kind of a throwback. Cult of the Lamb. I am a little bit hesitant to play this. I know that there is interactivity, so I would love to like do a stream and have people from the audience like in it. I'm worried that nobody would show up for the stream. My audience is like all over the place in terms of like when they view me, so it would be difficult to set up a one time and get people to join. When I did my birthday stream, like 10 people, 12 people came in throughout the stream, and then like a bunch of people came in after the stream and were just like watching it as a VOD. And so I'm a little bit hesitant of doing something that has that kind of interactivity. I do want to play it. I want to see what, like, this was a big game a few years ago. Like, so everybody was playing it. So I'd like to see what it's about. Darkfall Ghost Vigil. I saw Gab Smolders play this one. My understanding is that this is a scary haunted house game, and the developers have said that they don't want to do jump scares. So it's all about like building tension and having these horrific circumstances, these horrific events, and they never do the jump scare. So there's not going to be like a ghost jumping up in front of you. It's always going to be about like building that dread and building that weight. And that's something that I'm really interested in. So I want to see how they've done it. Does it work? All that stuff. The Dark Pictures. I've previously played through Until Dawn and The Quarry on the channel. Neither of those series did very well. It was like 2 or 3 people watched them. So I wasn't interested in doing The Dark Pictures. But if it's something that you'd like to see, I can always go through and do it. Dark Side of the Moon, I already talked about. Darkwood. I want to play Darkwood. I've heard great things about it. Like, everybody raves about it. I have watched people play through Act 1. I know that it gets like much scarier. It gets much more tense as it goes on. I would like to play it. I'm afraid that it's going to have the same problem of Look Outside, where it's going to be like incremental progress, incremental progress, incremental progress. Maybe you die and get sent back, and then you have to redo that incremental progress. I'm just worried about like the pacing of it for the channel. Let me know if you'd like to see it. I can sit down and try to work through it. I'm just like afraid that the pacing is going to not be right for my channel. Daylight. I started this game a long time ago. I've got 16 minutes in it, as you can see. Daylight was pitched to me as like an indie version of Fatal Frame. You've got a digital camera, there are ghosts, you've got to fight off the ghosts with the digital camera. When I started playing it, I felt like that was not correct. So I started with Dread Out, and then I started playing Daylight, and Dread Out is down here too. And neither of them scratched that Fatal Frame itch for me. So I stopped playing them. If that's something that you are interested in seeing, it's something that I own. I can dive in and do it. The Dead Space games. I have the remake. I booted it up to make sure it would play. I've got the old one, Dead Space 2. I'm probably not going to be playing through Dead Space 3 because I've always heard awful things about it. But I can play through Dead Space and Dead Space 2. Death Come True. This is an FMV game about like a time loop. A time loop in which like the main character has to stop people from dying. Other than that, I don't really know much about it. It's something that I saw, thought was interesting, put it on my wish list, and then it was on sale for like $20 a while back. So I grabbed it. Devil's Hideout. I just saw this one at the Horror Game Awards, and was it the Horror Game Awards? It was something recently. I just saw the trailer for it, and it looked cool, so I put it on my wish list, and then it went on sale. Distrust. You can see I've played this one for half an hour. This is a survival horror game based on John Carpenter's The Thing. You've got an Arctic base. You've got like flares. There's shape-shifting aliens. It was really cool, but it was really difficult. I remember it being very punishing. So that's something that I can play through if you're looking for that John Carpenter itch. Do No Harm. This is a cosmic horror pharmacy simulator, I think. I don't remember where I saw the trailer for this one, but it looked really interesting, and so I put it on my wish list. We've already talked about Dread Wait and Dread Out. Dredge. Dredge is a fishing horror game, which is funny to say. I've wanted to play Dredge for a while now, but I haven't really had a good opportunity for it. I was thinking of doing it as like a stream game. Like if I was going to do a New Year's Day like stream, I would play through Dredge or Pacific, whatever the other one is, Pacific Drive. I've just never had a good opportunity to sit down and play it. Duck Season. This is another VR horror game. I think it's from the same people that did Boneworks. I think it's from Stress Level Zero. Yeah. This is another VR horror game. I've wanted to play it for a while now. I just haven't like done it. I need to like make sure that OBS will connect with it and that I can do it. And so something like Duck Season would give me a good opportunity to do that. I talked about Dusk a little bit before. Dusk is a boomer shooter from David Szymanski. I like it a lot. I've played through the first like 2 chapters. I've never finished it, so I would be going through and finishing it on video. Edna and Harvey. This is way out of left field for this channel. These are hand-drawn, like point-and-click adventure games. I watched Kimmy Kim's play through them a long time ago. They're supposed to be very funny, very dark humor. Edna is breaking out of a mental institution, and she has her pet rabbit, who may or may not be real. Empty Shell. This has a really cool like overhead shooter style. I think that the visual style is what like attracted me to it in the first place. But it looks really cool, and I'd like to go through and see how it plays. Endoparasitic. If you haven't seen this one, you have a parasite that is keeping you alive, but you only have one arm. And so a lot of the game mechanics revolve around like reloading your gun with one hand, or like giving yourself injections with one hand. I've seen a little bit of the gameplay. I don't know the story or anything like that. So I thought that it looked fun. So that's why I grabbed it. The ER. This is from the same game devs who did the Security of the Horrible Nights and Anglerfish. I really liked Anglerfish. I really liked Security of the Horrible Nights. I would like to play through ER Patient Typhon. I'm probably not going to play through Help I Am Really Horny. I don't think that that's my genre, but I would like to play through the ER Patient Typhon. I am interested to see what Professional Villains does, and where they are like where their evolution is, because I think that that's really interesting. Fatum Batula. I played through Bryce Butcher. I've played through some of Bryce Butcher's games in the DreadX collection, and I played through the demo for 500 caliber contracts on the Haunted PS1 demo disc. So I've had this in my library forever now, and I've been wanting to play through it. I'm always like, I never know whether I should like play through these games on my own and then be like, oh, I really love this game, let me introduce it to you. Or if it's something that I should like play on stream or record. I've never played through the Fear games before, so I have like 5 Fear games in my library for some reason. I think that these are both just short campaigns, so I could probably do all of these in one video, depending on how long Fear is. But I can do Fear, Fear 2, and Fear 3. Gabriel Knight. I've got Sins of the Fathers and The Beast Within, and Blood of the Sacred. I think that's all of the games. I'm not sure about that. But these are older point-and-click games. Gabriel Knight is kind of like older, goth-inspired. I don't know the stories. I don't know the twists. I just know that they're kind of classics, and so that's why I picked those ones up. Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. This is way out of my wheelhouse. I've been wanting to do a rage game for the channel. I think that would be fun. Nobody has really made like a horror-based rage game yet. There's not like a what if Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy was a mascot horror game or anything like that. I think that whatever that parkour game that came out recently was White Knuckle. That might be a better fit, but I've been wanting to play a rage game. So if you know of a horror-based rage game, please let me know. Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure. It looks cute. It's got a cat. It's got Cthulhu. That's really all I know about it. Gloomwood. This was produced by New Blood. I haven't played it. I think that it's supposed to be like an immersive sim with these like neo-Victorian type enemies. These neo-Victorian type enemies. You can see they've got the dogs, Resident Evil dogs. Really cool environments, really cool looking visuals. So if you're looking for like a thief-like something that stealth. I'm really not good at stealth games, but a stealth game with like big Kira like environments with like interconnected passages and neo-Victorian aesthetic. It's something that I can play. Goetia. This is an older point-and-click adventure game, I think. All I really know about it is that you are Abigail Blackwood. I think that we play as a ghost, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong about that. We have the game just has like a really cool aesthetic. And I've been interested in playing through that one for a while too. The Great Perhaps. I don't actually know if this one is a horror game. It doesn't look like a horror game from the images, the previews, but it has the horror tag, which is why I threw it in here. I got this in a Humble Bundle forever ago, and I've never played it. Half-Life Alyx. This is another VR game, and I'm sure that I don't have to talk about Half-Life with you guys. I'm sure you guys know that. Half-Life Alyx is Half-Life 2.5. It follows Alyx from Half-Life 2. It's in VR. I know that there's like a Ravenwood section, which would be really dark and spooky. So I'm interested in it. Hand of Doom. I am a little bit hesitant to play that. I like Torpilduke. The publisher is DreadXP, and it was published in 2023. 2023 was when Ted Henschke left DreadXP. but I don't know if he was still there when Torpilduke was working on Hand of Doom. So I'm hesitant to play it. I want to support Torpilduke. I like Torpilduke a lot. I've played all three of the DreadX collections, and I liked his games on the DreadX collections. I like Torpilduke. He did Chip's Tips, and that was a lot of fun. I still have really fun memories of Chip's Tips and Hand of Doom, and there was another one that he did, which I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I enjoyed it a lot. I like Torpilduke a lot. Happy's Humble Burger Farm is the same thing. I played through a few Scythe Dev Team games on the DreadX collections. I like them a lot. Why is there a Hello Neighbor 3? What is going on? What is the world coming to? I like Scythe Dev Team a lot. Some of their games were very difficult, and I'm happy that I don't have to play them anymore. But I like Scythe Dev Team a lot. Helldive, I saw Mr. Craven play through this a while back, and he had really good things to say about it. I don't know much about the actual game. It's an underwater exploration game. It's psychological horror. It's supposedly Lovecraftian. That's creepy. Other than that, it would be completely fresh to me. Helltaker, this is a puzzle game with sexy demons, is about what I know about it. I watched Manly Badass Hero play it a while back. It's free. I grabbed it. That's basically the whole story. Hollow Body. Hollow Body is a survival horror game. It was supposedly one of the better ones of the past few years. I'm interested to play it. I've got it on my list. I've got it downloaded, I think. I've got it downloaded. So I'm planning on playing that one soon. Homebody. This is from the Game Grumps. Is that correct? Yeah, Game Grumps. It's a survival horror game, but it's psychological horror. There's strange things. I think that there's a time loop involved, but I could be wrong about that. And it's got these really cool, like, chunky visuals. Lake Haven Chrysalis. I want to play Lake Haven whenever it comes out, but as far as I know, it's not actually out yet. Yeah. So whenever Lake Haven comes out, I'd like to play Lake Haven Chrysalis and then Lake Haven back to back. Land of Pain. This is from the same dev that did the Alien Cube. Let me make sure that's right. Alien Cube, yeah. He's also got another game coming out soon, Cosmic Fear. It's got a demo out. I'm not going to play the demo because I don't usually play demos unless they're part of a collection. I'd like to play through Land of Pain and the new one whenever it comes out. Lasagna Boy. This is a Gorefield game. You can see I've started playing it. I've got 30 minutes in it. I've last played it in 2021, so I'd have to start over from the beginning. I thought that it was really funny that the internet made Gorefield a thing, so I picked it up. Layers of Fear 2. I have heard really bad things about this game. I am not a fan of Blooper Team. I am probably not going to enjoy Layers of Fear 2, but I wanted to put it on the list because I own it, and it kind of seems wasteful not to play it. I remember I thought that Layers of Fear 1 was fine. It got really like blown out of the water, and Blooper Team I don't think deserves the after the Medium and Blair Witch. I don't think that Blooper Team like deserve the accolades that they were getting. I've heard that Silent Hill 2 was very good. I'm hoping that Silent Hill 1 remake is very good. But anytime I say Blooper Team, I'm like cautious. The Letter. This is a horror visual novel. I think that I got this for free. I don't remember. But it's like I was saying about the Cooking Companions and Dreadweight. If you're someone for whom horror visual novels is something that you're like interested in, please let me know and I can look into doing the letter. I think that it's very long, so I'm hesitant to do it, but I can set aside a couple weeks for it and see if I can get through the letter. Letters of Bernard Thorne. This is a pretty recent game. Korean Linguistics Lab. I played Love Sam back when this channel was still in its early days. Love Sam was a lot of reading. I'm hoping that Letters of Bernard Thorne is not as much reading, but from the title, it kind of sounds like it is. But I think that it would be fun to go through Letters of Bernard Thorne and see how Korean Linguistics Lab has evolved, see like what changes there are, see what the story is. I think that would be really cool. Lost Alone, Episode 1, Little Sister. I don't remember much about this game. I know that Doesn't Matter has done like multiple games like this. I'm really like not wanting to do it now because I've just seen a bunch of like generative AI on their store page. So I might be deleting that one. But I can play through Lost Alone if you think that would be fun. See if pre-generative AI them did anything good. Yeah. Lost Diskettes. This is a collection of short and experimental horror experiences. I played this one on something. I think it was one of the Haunted PS1 demo discs. No, it wasn't. It was 3 short horror games. This was one that I played just off the itch page. And then Puko released like a collection. And so I was like, well, I want to support Puko. Lucifer Within Us. I don't actually know what this one is about. I'm not sure if it is horror or not. It's dealing with murder. It's got like this really weird mascot. It's a detective series. Let me know if you want to see like me play a detective series where I'm apparently investigating demons. Made of Skur. Made of Skur is part of the Of Skur series. So they've got, where is it? Oh, I didn't know they did the Shapeshifting Detective. So it's Made of Skur, and then that was Skur Ritual I saw up there. I thought that there was another one, but it looks like there's not. But there's the Skur series, Made of Skur VR. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. They were recently, there was something of theirs was on the Horror Game Awards. I remember talking about them recently. I would be interested in going through those games just to see what they're about. I also saw Dead Reset on there. I'm interested in Dead Reset. I might pick that one up as well. Maze. This is a horror/humor game about sentient corn at an underground lab. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, let me know and I will throw it on the thing. Metro. I have played through the Metro trilogy back when it was a trilogy. I own Metro Exodus. I started playing Metro Exodus and then I lost interest in it about 6 hours in. I can go back and replay it, or I can replay the original trilogy if it's something that you're interested in. I know that like shooters aren't usually my genre. Usually I'm more of the walking sim person. But if it's something that you're interested in, please let me know. Scanners. I don't remember this one. This looks like a dystopian. Yeah, dystopian. I think that this is supposed to be like a Papers, Please, but in a cyberpunk, like dystopian, hand-drawn future. So if any of that interests you, please let me know. Mundawn. This is a Swedish, somewhere in the Alps. Lovingly hand-penciled horror tale set in a dark, secluded valley of the Alps. It was published by Annapurna back when they were still publishing. Hidden Fields, I don't think I've played anything else by them. I've heard great things about this one. Like I'm really excited to see what it is. Like what is the story? What is the horror of it? I'm really interested to see. It looks really cool. Murder House. You can see I started recording this one. I got about an hour in, and then for some reason I never finished it. But I have this one. It is a puppet combo game. So I've got it. I've got Murder House and Stay Out of the House. Murder Mystery Machine. I think that this one just does what it says on the tin. It's a detective crime agency and an isometric modern noir deduction thriller. This is another one where I don't think it's like super horror. I think it's more detective and solving a murder, but it's one that I've got. Murderous Muses. I believe that this is from DeVecchi Studios. So like I was saying earlier, I played through Dr. Decker, Shapeshifting Detective, and Poe and Monroe. I own Murderous Muses. I haven't played through it yet, but it's supposed to be like a 3D environment with FMV vignettes, and it's supposed to be heavily horror focused. And it probably ties in with the other games. So usually there's a vignette of the infectious madness of Dr. Decker in Dark Knights with Poe and Monroe. There are references to Dark Knights with Poe and Monroe in the Shapeshifting Detective. So a lot of their studio games are like interconnected in the same way that the Remedy games are, where they take place in the same universe. The New Flesh. I just got this recently. I saw it at the Horror Game Awards. That it is the soundtrack is by Red Vox. I don't know what this one is about at all. I think that it would be cool to play through and just listen to the soundtrack if nothing else. But it looks interesting, so I figured I'd pick it up. Night Blights. I've owned this one for a while now. I like Gary the Hot Cross Bun. I like his stream. I like his videos, and I thought that I would support him and buy his game. After I did that, he was like, "Oh, don't buy my game. Like, you don't need to buy my game." And I was like, "I already did." But I own it. I think that it would be cool to go through it. It's a survive the night game, and I haven't played many of those. So it'd be cool to have like a survive the night game that I can point people towards. I also know that somebody has ripped off the style. I know that there are imitator games out there. So if you see any of those, please feel free to like report them. Night Signal. Night Signal is from the same devs that did Home Safety Hotline and Home Safety Hotline Seasonal Worker. I enjoyed Home Safety Hotline. I was a little bit cold on Home Safety Hotline and Seasonal Worker. I felt that there weren't enough clues in the descriptions. Home Safety Hotline, I felt like the clues were much better, but I enjoyed both games for what they were. So I figured I'd pick up Night Signal and support them. Nightmare's Trip. I got this in an Itch.io bundle a while ago. I don't know if it's horror. I think it has the horror tag. It doesn't have the horror tag. I'm just making that up. But it's about a nightmare. It's a visual novel, and I think that it might be fun. Fun short thing. No Strings Attached. Funny story. I was looking for a different game called No Strings Attached. I played the No Strings Attached demo on one of the Haunted PS1 demo discs. So I was looking for it to see if I could add it to my wish list. And this was just a free, casual, horror-inspired game about a puppet trying to escape from the circus, I guess. And it's got like it's really reminiscent of like early Little Nightmares. So I thought that I would grab it. And it's free to play. So if it looks interesting to you, you can grab it as well. No Skin. No Skin is a horror roguelike, to my knowledge. Roguelite, it looks like. But you go through the events and it's repeating until you find No skin, is my understanding. So I haven't played many roguelites on the channel before. I think it would be cool to go through No Skin together. Observer, I already talked about Layers of Fear 2. I think that Observer is Bluebird Team's strongest game. And I think that it's because like a good portion of the game is grounded in reality, and not just like infinitely repeating mazes or non-Euclidean geometry or like walls moving around you. I think that Observer system, I think that Observer is their better game. I haven't played through System Redux yet, so that's something that I can do, and I would probably be more positive on it than I would in Layers of Fear. Already talked about those. Pacify. I would need a group to play Pacify, but it's something that's on the list. Pale Abyss. This is a action RPG. It's been a while since I played an action RPG on the channel. Last I played was Dark Souls 3, the Dark Souls 3 randomizer. If it's something that you're interested in, I saw Iron Pineapple talk about this one, and he talked highly about it. So I wanted to pick it up because it looked like it's something that I might enjoy as well. Paranormal HK. This is a first-person horror game set in Hong Kong about paranormal investigators. It's basically all I know about it. It looks really interesting. I haven't played a game in Hong Kong yet, so if it's something that you think would be cool, please let me know. I started playing The Patient After Hours, and I got soft-locked the last time I tried to play it. I know that Aaron Wise / Trial by Fire Games is one of Mr. Craven's friends, so I want to support him. I would like to play a game that doesn't softlock me. I played one of his games way back, Consume, but that's the only one that I've played, so I don't really know much about him. Perception. This is a cool short horror game about a protagonist who is blind, and so she uses echolocation to get through the house around her. I think I first saw John Wolfe play it, but it's basically the LiDAR games before the LiDAR games. So you use echoes and you use like mental images to get around the house rather than being able to see. And kind of the horror is like what's lurking outside of your perception. Phantasmagoria. I've talked about other games. These are older point-and-click adventures. They were cheap when I bought them. I've never played the Phantasmagoria games. I think that Phantasmagoria 2 is supposed to be like very bizarre, like it doesn't follow from the first game, and it has a completely different tone. I think it's more FMV as well. So let me know if you would like me to go through those games just so that you can see like what these games were. Psychopomp Gold. I think that they recently announced a second Psychopomp, didn't they? Maybe I'm making that up. But Psychopomp Gold is like a strange psychological horror action game. And you can see here it's got like the haunted cities. It's got the cool UI. I don't really know much about the Psychopomp character. I know that she's quite popular online, but it's something that I can find out about. Quartermain and the Cult of the Cthulhu. This is another boomer shooter. You can kind of see from the preview image. It's got like the old DOS style boomer shooter. Looks very much like the old Wolfenstein games. I picked it up recently. Looked fun. It's about all I know about it. The Red Strings Club. This is another game where I'm not sure if it's horror. I think that it's more detective game. But it's got this cool cyberpunk world. It's got these different mini games that you can play. And it looks interesting. I've heard that the storytelling is pretty good. I've heard that the storytelling is pretty good, and it is published by Devolver Digital. So all of the things that like These seem like green flags. Repos. This was recently featured somewhere. I don't remember where. It was recently featured somewhere. I thought that this interface looked cool. I think that it's all 1-bit. I think that they've like dedicated to doing just like a 1-bit horror game. And so I'm really interested in seeing like what that looks like and what that plays like. And all of the screenshots look really cool. I'm interested to see what it's about. Rough Night at the Gallery. This is another humorous, jokey horror game about being trapped in an art gallery with ghosts, and all of the art is dog. Everything is dog. And that's about what I know about it. Sagebrush. This is about exploring a cult compound after the cult is no longer there. I've heard good things about it. I think that Errant Signal did a video about it, but I could be mixing that up with somebody else. But I've heard good things about it. I'd be interested to see like what the story is. I know that it's very heavily story based, and so I want to find out like what's going on here. Scanner Somber. This is a LiDAR horror game. You use the LiDAR spray to put dots down so that you can see around you. Otherwise, everything is black. I didn't know that Prison Architect was the dev that did this. I picked up a 2-pack of LiDAR games. I don't remember which games they were, though. And so I've got a Scanner Somber. Scrutinized is from the Welcome to the Game dev. I've heard that this is very difficult, but it's interesting that it's a horror roguelite about the deep web, I think. And so I'd be interested in playing that, seeing how far I could get, seeing if I could finish a run, all of that stuff. Seeing Things. So if you watch my observation duty videos, you might know that I was kind of put off of the 7th and 8th observation duty games because they use generative AI. I saw that Seeing Things was made by Robot Invader, who did Dead Secret and Dead Secret Circle, which I've played before. I saw that they don't have an AI thing. So I'm hoping that this is like an observation duty game that I can play without AI. So I grabbed it last year. I haven't played it yet. Server is down. I don't really know much about this one. It's got really bad reviews, but it's only 12 users. I know that it's got the horror tag. I think I got it in a bundle. I hope I didn't pay money for it. But I've got it. So if you want to see like a computer-based horror game, it's something that we might be able to go through together. The Shape on the Ground. This is from... No. I thought I knew the dev behind this, but I guess I don't. It's a horror game / quiz. So they're asking you questions, and then the questions that you answer determine the outcome of the game, is my understanding of it. I haven't played it yet, so I don't know what the different choices are. I don't know what the different endings are, but that's what I've picked up from it. The Signifier. I never finished her playthrough. I know that Gab Smolders started this. I don't know if she ever finished it. I saw the visuals of this. I saw that it was published by Raw Fury. I thought that it looked really cool. I would like to go through it. It seems like it would be kind of like the what was the one game that I played recently? Mirror Forge. It looks like very good, and so I'd like to go through it and see if it holds up to other horror games of the type. Slackjaw. Slackjaw is an escape room horror game about a serial killer who kidnaps and then keeps their victims hostage. And so you've got to figure a way out of the basement. Classic setup. I saw that it was at the Horror Game Awards, so I put it on my wish list, and it was recently on sale. Song of Horror. This is a survival horror game. It's supposed to be done in like a more classical style with the fixed camera angles. I don't know much about the story. I know that there's like a house, a library, something else. There's multiple locations. You go through the locations, you solve the mystery, and then you leave. I know that some of the characters can permadie, and so if I were to play through it, my goal would be to keep everybody alive. And so I'd probably go through and see, like, first off, how do you die? Like, what are the death triggers? And then see if I could get everybody through to the end. Sorry We're Open. I played the demo for this on one of the Haunted PS1 demo discs. I bought it. I don't know how much longer this is than the demo, but I'd like to see, like, how does it play out. It's a RPG Maker horror game where you work retail. Really, that's all you need to know. But yeah. See, Out of the House, we already kind of talked about. Storm the Swan. This looks interesting. It was released on Halloween last year. It looks like you go back and forth between the Game Boy, the Data Kid, and the real world. And it's got cute animals that I'm assuming are hiding horrors beneath them. So yeah. Tacoma. This is by the same devs that did Gone Home. I've only played Gone Home from them, I think. But they've also got Toilet Spiders, and it looks like they're coming out with a Springs Eternal game. I don't know if Tacoma is a horror game. Gone Home wasn't a horror game. It just had like spooky elements to it. So I'm not sure if this would really fit on the channel or not. Tokyo Dark. This is another visual novel, I think. Yeah, it's got the visual novel tag. It's about a police detective who is trying to solve a murder, but she may be the murderer or something may be going on with her. So it's supposed to be anime detective novel meets Silent Hill is my understanding of it. And so I'd like to go through and see what's going on. What is the twist at the end? All of that stuff. Transient. This is a cyberpunk H.P. Lovecraft game. I'm interested to see like what the story is. It looks like it's got mixed reviews. I'd be interested in finding out, like, is it good? Is it bad? Is it aggravating? What's going on here? The Turing Test. This is another one I'm not too sure about for the channel. This is just a series of puzzles. I've played it before. I played it on Xbox when it was free several years ago. So it would be like solving puzzles in order to rescue this astronaut crew from a rogue AI. Unheard. I believe that this is another detective game. Yeah, detectives. So you get a setup for a crime and you get to hear recordings from various positions, and then you have to solve the crime based on the recordings and all that stuff. The Upturned is a game from the same developer as Lethal Company, I believe. Zeekers. So I saw Will Shand play a little bit of this, but Will would jump in, play a section, and then jump out. So I don't have any connective tissue for the sections that he played. I know that there was like an elevator. I know that there was a basement. I know that there was a furnace. Other than that, I really don't know anything about the game. I think that Aaron Signal talked a little bit about this when he did a video on Lethal Company. I know that the smiley guy here is supposed to be the antagonist, but that's about the limits of my understanding of the game. So If you are interested in the upturned, I've got it. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter Redux. I have heard that this has a really cool gimmick. It's a walking simulator, but it has like genre shifting or universe shifting, something like that. I've got the Redux, so this is the remastered version of the game. Other than that, I really don't know much about it. I've heard interesting things about it. I knew the name for a while. I'd like to see what it's about. Let me know if it's something you're interested in. Violent Horror Stories 1 and 2. I think that Violent Horror Stories 1 is where No, I'm Not a Human comes from. So I picked up these. Yeah, I think that's the preview that I just saw. Yeah, there he is. So I can play through these. They're anthology games. They've got a bunch of different violent games. And I think they're supposed to be retro inspired, if not retro themselves. Vladimir's Lore. I bought this forever ago. I am a big fan of Vladimir. I have been since Dread XP. What was it? After Party? Can't remember what 5 was. I enjoy Vladimir's like output. Vladimir seems cool. So I picked up Vladimir's Lore. I just haven't played through it. I keep like once a month I'll say, I need to play through Vladimir's Lore. And then I just never get around to it. So it's something that I have if you would like to see that. I think this is the other LiDAR horror game that I got, The Voidness. So you can't see anything. You use the LiDAR dots to kind of clear your path in order to get through these dark sections. And it's a sci-fi psychological horror game, so there's probably going to be some kind of sci-fi element to it as well. The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. This is another VR game. I picked it up way too long ago. I haven't played it. I don't know anything about it other than that it's The Walking Dead, and it's supposed to be like fairly short. So I'm hoping that if I can get around to playing it, I can do it like within a few videos. We Know the Devil. This is a short visual horror novel. Actually, I don't know if it's horror or not. Does it have the horror, psychological horror? Errant Signals, I've talked about him a few times. He did a video about this a long time back. And then I'm in Akumakira's Discord. And I saw some people talking about it recently. I didn't even know that it was still relevant, but I have it, so I own it. But it's something that I can go through. It's a short visual novel with like horror or scary, strange and scary. It's probably within my wheelhouse. I'm not sure. The Were Cleaner. This is another like silly horror adjacent dark humor type of game where you play a cleaner who is also a werewolf. That's what I know about it. Heart of the Forest. This is a social deduction game, I believe. It's based off of the Werewolf the Apocalypse games. I think that this is adapted from a tabletop game, but I'm not sure. And then it's you explore different things. You have to be able to, it's a visual novel with lots of different choices and social deductions and figuring out like who is the werewolf and who's not and all of that stuff. So it's got the story rich and visual novel and choices matter. So something I'm interested in. Who's Lila? I got this one forever ago. I've been wanting to play through it. The only thing that I'm a little hesitant about is that I think that this one is one where the game that the first time you play through the game, you get to an ending and then there's like a dozen more endings. I know that there's like a daemon that you can install for it that gives you more lore or more answers or other stuff. And so I'm worried about playing it because I usually just go through, I get start of the game, I get to the credits roll and I'm like, okay, that was the game. But if I get to the end of the game and there's like 12 other endings and Do I stop? Do I go? What do I do? And so I've been hesitating to play it, but it looks really cool. I've heard that it's David Lynch inspired. It's got all of these references to Lynch and kind of the dark teen young adult dramas of the time. And it's supposed to be like surreal and interesting, and I've heard great things. So yeah. Rot Flesh is a newer game. It is a boomer shooter, I think, or an FPS, in which you can like rip out your own organs or rip off your own limbs or something like that. I've seen people just raving about it on Discord, so I'm interested in it. I'd like to like find out how good it is. Is it actually as good as people are saying, or what's going on? Yume Nikki Dream Diary. I started Yume Nikki. I've only put a couple of minutes into it. I just wasn't in the headspace for it when I started it. This is classic RPG Maker horror. This is the remake. I believe it's from the same developer, but I could be wrong about that. I have them if you'd like to see me go through them. I have played a few like demos that were Yume Nikki inspired before. If there's anything Yume Nikki inspired that you think would be better than the original Yume Nikki, please let me know. And then Yuppie Psycho. This is another one that I started and didn't finish. This is about like getting a job in the city and then finding out that you've been hired as a witch hunter. It's RPG Maker like based, but it's like more it's more fleshed out than just RPG Maker. So it is an RPG. It's got RPG elements. You've got weapons. You've got stats. But it's a little bit more advanced than just your typical RPG fare. So those are the games that I have on my list. I've got other games on my wish list. I know that whenever Resident Evil comes out, I'm going to be playing that. Whenever Silent Hill Townfall comes out, I'm going to be playing that. But those are the games that I have in my library that I have set aside to play through. So let me know if any of them look interesting to you. Let me know if there's anything that I should play, if there's anything I shouldn't play. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for joining me for another night of yapping for far too long. I love you. I'll see you in the next video. Good night.